And that's why asking people what camera gear they use is probably the worst question that you could ever possibly ask. One thing that I've noticed from spending time in California to coming back to a place with a little more challenging weather conditions, suddenly the cold, like 32 degrees, becomes much colder. Right? It's an interesting wreath design. I think one of the most common questions that people ask when people are interested in filmmaking or anything else is, what did you shoot that on? And while I think that that's a warranted question, and it's a completely valid question, I take some issues with that. The steam coming from my coffee is not a accurate indicator on how cold it actually is. It's actually not that cold. For it being 32 degrees, I'm walking out here in a sweatshirt and shorts and sandals. It's totally, it's acceptable. And I'm kind of a weenie when it comes to that kind of stuff. Question is completely valid, and I've asked myself that question quite a few times. I think it has to come from a specific place. If it comes from the wrong place, then I think you're setting yourself up for failure. Typically, I think where you go wrong when you're trying to figure out what people are shooting on is when you're trying to emulate or copy a specific style, color scheme, or whatever else. Kind of like when you see a cool picture and you want to go to that location and recreate that picture. You have to go into it knowing that you're not going to get the exact same picture because one, well, you're not the person that took the original picture, and two, there's a bunch of external forces that just separate that to make it not the same. And that kind of goes with gear too. Don't just get something because somebody else uses it or says that it's good. Take what they have to say, try to see if it'll apply in whatever you do in a practical way. It'll save you money, time, and frustration. Basically what I'm trying to say is don't get so caught up, or I just spilled coffee on myself. Don't get so caught up or fixated on what people use. Just focus on making good stuff that you enjoy, and that brings you happiness. And that's why asking people what camera gear they use is probably the worst question that you could ever possibly ask. With that being said, my daily shooter is going to be the Sony a7S III with a 12-24 G Master f2.8 wide angle and a Sony ECM V1M microphone on top. I use that every single day, and it's all linked down in the description. And having specific gear isn't going to make or break a video. Like yesterday's video, most of it was shot on this iPhone, and it looked great. It's not to discourage anybody from asking that question. The mentality or the mindset behind the question just needs to be one of inspirational, and I might be able to use this in my workflow versus I want to get the exact same look. We're home now. I'm sitting at a different desk normally. I do these things at that desk, but this is like our backup desk if both of us want to work in here. So I didn't answer any questions from yesterday's video, so I'm gonna do that right now. in addition to answering today's. This empty airport is trippy. Not the honestly, the airport being empty was super weird. If I'm being completely honest, when we found out that we were going to be spending pretty much all day at that airport, we looked to see if there were any lounges, and there was a Delta lounge, but we weren't flying Delta, and you have to be flying Delta to access it. Anyway, there were no lounges, but it ended up being okay because we found an empty terminal, and it was pretty much like a lounge. And the one of the last clips, I was going to the bathroom, and well, that was just to get your attention. That's amazing. Honestly, the fact that we live in an age to where you can shoot and capture everything on this, and then edit everything on this, and upload everything on this, that's amazing. I used Adobe Rush for a while when I was doing a lot of like on-the-go shorts. I want to get back to that. It's just I need more time because these just take an extraordinary amount of time. That's amazing. And let me know when you upload your first video. I will be definitely checking it out. And let me know if you were able to do it all on the phone, because that would be amazing. That's all the questions from the day before yesterday's video. Now I'm doing yesterday's video. Yeah, honestly, it was the longest that I've ran, and I'm definitely feeling it right now. The run was good. My legs are they're tired. They're not like sore. They're tired today. And the second part of that question, no. What I normally do is, well, it's actually kind of, I'll run. So let's say I'm running 16 miles. I'll try to run 8 miles in one direction. That way I have no choice but to run 8 miles in the opposite direction to do this. Because if I just did it in circles, I definitely would just cut it short because, well, 16 miles. Seriously, master there, storytelling. Thank you. That honestly is one of the biggest compliments that you could ever give, at least to me. And yeah, that's honestly why I love making videos like this, because there's a creative challenge to try to make the best story that I possibly can, like out of just a run or whatever. So thank you for watching, and thank you for the compliment. That's true. Every day that I wake up, it's coffee first. Hey, I just found your content from... Thank you. Welcome to my channel, and I'm glad that these videos are helping you. Whenever you're making something, there's always that question in your mind of are people going to find this interesting, and is it going to help people that I'm trying to like help or inform or just make something interesting for them? Comments like that are just like, it's like a reassurance. It's a spark of inspiration to keep making and to keep doing it. And every time let me show you this. Whenever I receive meaningful or really just nice compliments, I try to do my best to screenshot them and save them to an album on my phone. Not to like boost my ego or anything else, but just to remind myself of why I do this. And also too, if there's a season or if there's like a day where I'm just kind of having a lot of doubts, which those do come, I can look back on that album and see all the nice comments and see all the people that are so generous with their time to watch things that I've made, and that just kind of re-sparks the passion, and it definitely helps. If you don't do that or do something like that, then I highly recommend that you do. It's a game changer. It kind of realigns your focus every once in a while. Okay, that's all of the questions from yesterday and the day before yesterday. I'll try to be more responsible on answering them every single day. Yesterday I was just exhausted, and I didn't feel good after the 16-mile run, so I stopped recording after the last thing that you saw.